This is a story from an ancient book, written thousands of years before you were born. Its words are dated, but its message is not. Listen closely, for this story was penned with you in mind. Please, employ your imagination and travel back with me to a different time, a different civilization. The monarch of the kingdoms of this age was the great nation of Persia, and the king of this thriving empire was a young man named Xerxes. Of the many cultures conquered and living under the reign of the Persian kings, one was favored over the rest. The Israelites, captured and enslaved by Persia's predecessor Babylon, had been released to their homeland by King Xerxes' own grandfather, and out of gratitude and love of the comforts they experienced there, many Israelites chose to remain in Persia, residing even in the capital city of Susa itself. Observe this man. His cousins have died, leaving a young child, a girl, alone in the city. He will take young Hadassah, raising her as his own daughter, providing for her and teaching her what it means to be a follower of the living God in a pagan city. He will teach her to remember who she is and whose she is. As a Jew, she is a daughter of God's chosen people, and she must be strong to remain faithful in a land where creation is worshipped and the Creator forgotten. Remember this man, this Mordecai. Years have passed. The selfishness and entitlement that seem to accompany most royalty in the stories has lost King Xerxes his queen, Vashti, and his noblemen, who may or may not have been related to the Sheriff of Nottingham, encouraged him to find a new queen in a way destined to cause heartbreak throughout all the kingdom. The king sent out his soldiers with orders to capture the most beautiful young girls in his domain. In the city of Susa, Hadassah, grown into a stunning young woman, was torn from her old cousin, Mordecai.
Hadassah! Hadassah!
What, Mordecai?
They're coming for you!
What? Mordecai!
I can't protect you from this, but God can. You must change your name. Hide the fact that you're a Jew.
What? Why? We have the king's favor.
But many in the city still hate the Jews. It's for your own safety. They must not know. I'll call you Esther instead of Hadassah. Promise me you won't tell anybody who you are.
I promise, Mordecai. Mordecai!
Esther!
So, Hadassah left behind her home, her family, and her entire identity to live in disguise at the palace of the greatest king in the world. Her new name, Esther, indicates star in the Persian language, but to the Jews, Esther means hidden, and so she was. For a year, the chosen maidens were trained in elegance, etiquette, and deportment, spoiled with luxuries, yet worked within the realms of diet and routine. In a year, they had been fashioned from beautiful girls into the most exquisite women, and, as you might expect, into rather demanding women as well.
I asked for the nail gun. Why do you have it?
Hey guy, this stupid servant had spilled tea all over the cushions.
Ha! You pushed her.
I did not. It was a mere bump. Clumsy thing. Do you honestly think I would use sheep soap? I only use the finest camel milk soap, and you know it too.
Yeah, I don't care, Shaskas. I want them fixed, and I want them now.
Get off my tray.
Hey guys, give me my chair.
Hey guys, you think I gotta stand for this kind of treatment?
Poor Haggai. As keeper of the women, he had charge of hopeful, shall we say spirited, young women for 1 year, and charge of disappointed, demanding women ever afterwards. But Esther was different.
Here, let me help you with that. No, it's okay. Please don't worry. Do you want to take a walk with me to the garden?
In that year's time, Esther did not forget to whom she belonged. Though her heritage was hidden, her character was not, and people began to notice. Esther gained the love and approval of all who knew her, and won the special favor of Haggai. She blossomed in beauty and grace, and when the year was up, out of all the maidens in the house of women, the king chose Esther to reign beside him as queen of all Persia. You think, perhaps, this is the end of the story. An anonymous Jew of Susa rose to be queen of the nation, a rags to riches tale indeed. But no, the author set up the stage when he wrote this prologue, so that the heart of the story could begin. As Esther lived in the palace, her cousin and guardian Mordecai, who was a worker at the palace gate, would walk in the grounds closest to his Hadassah's quarters, hoping to hear news of what went on behind the walls. This night, however, he was not alone. 2 palace guards had also chosen this place as a rendezvous. As Mordecai listened in horror, he heard these men, 2 of the king's personal servants, plot to kill Xerxes himself. After slipping away, Mordecai got word to Esther, warning her of the impending danger. She, in turn, alerted the king with Mordecai's message, and the traitorous Bigthan and Teresh were captured before they could put their devious plan into action. The thing was noted, and life in the palace went on. The next character to enter the scene is the villain of the story, one called Haman, an Agagite. Haman was a cunning and crafty man, and prospered greatly from the power he wielded. He flattered the king and benefited his council, weaseling his way into the king's innermost graces until the day came when King Xerxes promoted Haman above all the council and princes of the land, making him second in authority to no one but the king himself. A decree went out, an order that when the Lord Haman passed by, all were to bow before him, but not all would.
Why are you sitting? Get up and bow to me! So you think you have your own set of rules, do you, gatekeeper? Bow to me! It is a law!
I worship the Lord alone.
Haman's wrath was raised. When he discovered that Mordecai was one of the Jewish race, his hate multiplied. Bad blood flowed in the history between his own people and the nation of Israel, and the enmity had never died. In fact, it was about to be raised to a level it had never reached before. Haman went to the king, and, without revealing the name of the nation he desired to destroy, told Xerxes a fabricated story of a rebellious people scattered throughout the kingdom. He suggested they were ready to rise up against the king, and offered to pay 10,000 talents of silver into the king's treasuries to get the job done. In his trust of Haman, King Xerxes accepted the story without question and handed over his ring, giving Haman authority to respond to the supposed threat in whatever manner he desired. Whatever was sealed with the king's ring could not be changed. And so it was that a decree was sent out into the kingdom, an order given that, on the 13th of the month Adar, people were to destroy, to kill, and cause to perish all Jews, young and old, women and children, and the murderers thereof were to take their belongings as a reward. The news coursed through the kingdom like wildfire. No one believed the rumors. Persian kings had always favored the Jews, but the letters sent to all the provinces were official documents, and the Jews lamented. The city of Susa was in confusion, but Mordecai led the Jews in putting on sackcloth and ashes and crying out to Jehovah God to save them. Sheltered within the palace, Esther knew nothing of what was going on outside the walls. As she walked, however, she spotted Mordecai outside the gates, clothed in sackcloth, and she was disturbed. Esther sent a servant with clean robes for Mordecai to wear, and Mordecai told the servant what had been ordered and handed him a decree to carry back to Esther. She was a queen of Persia, it is true, but she was a Jew, and under the same sentence of death as her people.
Esther. We somehow had 4 copies of music and they're all gone. Yes. Can you get words instead of notes? Thank you.
Who am I
There is before us now a chance we dare not miss. Could it be we have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? We have come to the kingdom for such a time as
Esther was risking her life for her people. In those days, entering the king's presence without being summoned was a possible death sentence. If the king was not impressed with a person's boldness and did not extend his scepter, that person would be put to death. Esther had not been summoned for 30 days, yet she came on to reveal a well-kept secret.
Sire!
Your Majesty,
Esther,
you did not summon her.
Sire?
men, bow. Bow before your queen.
With Jehovah's mission in her heart and the prayers of her people surrounding her, Esther won the favor of the king. He offered her his blessing to any request, even up to half his kingdom. Her response was a simple invitation to dinner. Esther had prepared a banquet for him and the treacherous Haman to attend. At the banquet, the king invited Esther to state her request, but fear overcame her, and instead of stating her appeal, Esther asked both men to come again the next day to another banquet of wine. Haman left the palace that day with his head in the clouds. He was favored now by both the king and the Queen of Persia, but
Bow to me.
Haman called for company that night, bragging to them of the glory of his riches, the multitude of his children and servants, about how the king and now even the queen favored him above all else, and the banquet he was invited to on the morrow.
But none of this matters to me. None of it. It's nothing to me when I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate. Ugh.
I know. Order a gallows to be made, 75 feet high. Then tomorrow morning, go to the king and ask to hang this Mordecai on the gallows. There you can be merry at your feast.
The idea pleased Haman greatly, and he purposed to do this very thing. But that night, the author of the story stepped in and turned the page. The king had a dream.
Benton! Trish!
Pardon, my king, are you okay? Wake up, your majesty.
Where am I?
It's all right, your majesty. It was just a dream. You can go back to sleep.
No, I don't want to sleep. Bring me the Book of Chronicles. I must distract my mind.
Yes, your majesty.
The books of the king's chronicles were brought out and read. The account of the traitorous bodyguards intrigued Xerxes, and while he remembered the incident, he wished to know what had become of the man Mordecai, who risked his safety to warn the king about the danger. But the servants could tell him nothing, No reward had gone to the man who saved Xerxes' life.
What? This can't be. I must correct this. Who is out in the court?
Haman, Your Majesty.
Good. Ah, Haman. What must be done to the man who the king delights to honor?
Who could the king delight to honor more than myself? Your Majesty, why not give the man your own royal clothes and give him your crown and sitting him upon your own horse and have one of your princes lead him through the streets saying, "This is what is done to the man whom the king delights to honor."
This is a wonderful plan, Haman. Hurry, go do this for Mordecai the Jew.
What?
He's outside at the gate. Surely you've seen him.
What?
Hurry up! You'll love it. Make sure you do everything you said. Oh, and take this.
Talons of power had switched again. Pride had predicted its own downfall. Outside the palace, the Jews despaired. They had fasted for 3 days, expecting Esther to appeal to the king's mercy at the first banquet. And when they saw Haman exit the palace triumphantly that night, their faith wavered and they wondered if Esther had failed them. But the next morning, new hope came to them in the form of a spectacle they would not soon forget.
This is what is done to the man whom the king delights to honor. This is what is done to the man whom the king delights to honor. This is what is done to the man whom the king delights to honor. This is what is done to the man whom the king delights to honor.
The Jews regarded this demonstration as a sign. Jehovah had not forgotten them, and he was showing himself strong over their enemy by honoring the man who refused to dishonor God. Haman, however, was not so pleased. He rushed home in distress, bewailing what had happened to him. His wife and friends were no help, telling him that the events were a signal of warning and that he had already begun to fall. While they were still talking, the king's chamberlain arrived to escort Haman back to the palace and the second banquet awaiting him. Again, Esther had a choice: to reveal herself and plead for her people, or stay quiet and hope that she would be spared.
Aw, Haman. I trust your time with Mordecai went well. Oh, well. And Esther, what is your request?
If I have found favor in your sight, let my life and the lives of my people be saved. For we are sold to be destroyed, killed, and murdered.
What? Who is he and where is he who would dare to do such a thing?
The enemy is this wicked Haman.
What?
Your Majesty,
Plead for me, he'll save my life.
Let me go!
Tell me, I'll save yours. You're
Let me
nothing
go!
but-
What? Will you assault the queen of my own house? Guards, fight him!
Your Majesty, Haman built gallows to hang Mordecai the Jew, the man who saved your life.
Hang Haman on it!
So, the instigator of the Jews' trouble was gone, but the calamity he created was a problem to stay. Esther, revealed now to her husband as who she really was, fell down at his feet and once again begged for her people. Again, the king granted his favor to Esther and looked on her with love, committed to undo the disaster caused. Xerxes was alarmed at the edict he had authorized unknowingly against the Jewish people, but he had signed the decree with his own ring, and it could not be changed. After revealing Mordecai as the man who raised her, Mordecai counseled the repentant king on what to do next, and soon after, a new edict went out through all the land. It was so written that the king granted the Jews which were in every city to gather themselves together to stand for their life, and in turn attack all the people and provinces that might come against them. Copies of this decree were made and sent out across the kingdom by messengers on horseback, mules, camels, and even young dromedaries. When Mordecai went out from the presence of the king, he was no longer a gatekeeper in the palace. Xerxes recognized his wisdom and dressed him in royal apparel of blue and white, making him high counselor in place of Haman. On the 13th day of the month Adar, the Jews banded together, and instead of being murdered, they smote their own enemies with the edge of the sword, destroying many who hated God's chosen people. Mordecai taking Haman's place couldn't have been better for the young king, or for the state of the Jews. Mordecai was recognized as great in the king's house, and his fame spread throughout all the land. He sought the well-being of his people, accepted the other nationalities that made up the Persian kingdom, and sought peace within the empire. It was by his orders that this account was written. Yet the secret is, it was only the pen in the hand of the mighty author. And what of Esther? She continued to flourish in the position where the Lord had placed her, created to be queen for such a time as this. Well then now, what of you? This story is thousands of years old, but it is true. And I repeat, it was written with you in mind. What will you do with the truths you've heard from this account? Believe them, and believe in him. For just like Jehovah did with Esther, he knows the plans he has for you.
I no.